Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here. This is the one where you know, without me having to say it, how amazing episode 74 is in its richness of details and plot twists. The first time I watched it, my mouth stayed open in amazement at what was going on. At one point, I even wanted to cry. Of course, we won't get around to the heroism of Cameraman Titan and his fate today. I have looked into this topic and will be able to answer you whether he is alive or if we won't see him again. But what's most surprising is that even when taking into account such a global event as Death of Titan, there are other equally exciting scenes and topics of discussion in the episode. For example, you all probably noticed Simp Cameraman in the container reaching for TV Woman, but she again didn't pay attention to him, and the container closed. There was also a secret character in episode 74 that not many people paid attention to, but I believe he will have a very important role in the future. Notice how I've only just started listing details for you, but my brain is already exploding with the amount of information, and I haven't yet told you about Dom Studio reference, new scientist on G-Man's shoulder, what TV men are building in the lab, and new G-Man Titan. And on top of all that, we saw some new ASTRO toilets here as well, and much more. So let me break it all down for you one by one and tell you the theories with which we touch on the future of the storyline. Be sure to watch to the end so you don't miss anything, and hit the like button as a sign of respect for Cameraman Titan. The more likes we get, the more likely Defuk Boom will notice this video and not remove our favorite character from the show. Anyway, here we go. Suddenly, we see the episode not on behalf of Cameraman, but on behalf of an ordinary camera designed by Scientist Cameraman. After turning it on, he turns it around to see if everything works. At the top is a flying machine. These same machines infected the core of Cameraman Titan in episode 23, so this scientist may have had something to do with improving Titan. He then approaches the purple TV man with camera in hand and sets it on his head so he can record what is happening. As we zoom in, we see Speaker Man on the right with two red knives. This is most likely the same Speaker Man who helped the Red Lucky Cameraman stand up in an additional scene in season 23. However, he decided to grab some new weapons from the warehouse, including a huge axe. Considering he had Lucky Cameraman with him, he's probably around somewhere, and will be shown what he's up to in upcoming episodes. After all, this is the only living character who has been in contact with the secret agent so far. Now back to the TV man. Notice that he has two columns from the Speaker Man race to the left and right of his head, while in his first appearance he didn't have any. Given that the Scientist Cameraman gave him a camera, it turns out that this is the first agent with technology from each race. This makes the appearance of a Titan using all the technology more likely, since the agent started experimenting in that direction. Funnily enough, there's another hint at this later on, so we'll come back to this topic again. When the camera is put on the TV man's head, we see the Scientist Cameraman, and if we look at his shirt, we see a device that looks like a small camera. Perhaps that's what the TV man's camera will look like as well. After the TV man's "let's go" phrase, the interesting part begins. The thing is that he doesn't just teleport, but goes through the wall, which we can realize from the direction of movement. At that moment, at the very end of the corridor for a couple of seconds, we see TV Man in a white t-shirt, blue shirt, and gray pants. His white head makes him resemble the Microwave Man from the old Troll leak. It's still unclear who he is, but it's clear that he, like the secret agent, will be in hiding and remain mysterious. I look forward to your theories in the comments. This character then disappears somewhere, because when the TV man turns again to that side of the hallway, there is no one there. You might think he just teleported away, but it's not that simple. The thing is, the Skibidi Toilets didn't react to him in any way. Logically, if they had seen him, they would have fired their lasers. Therefore, he's invisible to them, and only the TV man can see him. And the purple TV man only saw him the moment he went through the wall. Obviously, this character is in another dimension, making it impossible for ordinary mortals to see him with their normal senses. And do you remember who else has these abilities? Ghosts, of course, such as the twins, or Lucky Cameraman, for example. Besides them, we've seen Plunger and Dark Speaker Man temporarily in this state. Perhaps this new TV man is also part of an elite squad of invisibles who assist and work directly with the secret agent. Next, we see the purple TV man using his hypnosis to command the Skibidi Toilets to protect him by saying, "Protect." Judging by the broken glasses, the TV man used not only the glow but also the speakers. This further confirms how effective it is to use different technology in one agent. When he goes through the door again, he sees a Skibidi scientist in front of him. And it's not just any scientist, but one of the ones who was next to the secret agent on the poster from episode 70. So now it makes sense how he has access to all the doors. He kindly asks the scientist, "Give me your head," and the scientist gladly and quickly gives him his head. This was very kind of him, so some Skibidi toilets are really kind. With this magic key, he first opens one gate to free the hypnotized Skibidi toilets, and then opens the second gate from whence he came to free the agents from the beginning of the episode. Behind the third door were the agents held captive by the Skibidi toilets. Among the captives can be spotted Simp Cameraman, who we last saw in episode 57. Turns out he survived, which is pretty cool. I'm glad he's back on the show. Afterwards, the TV man says to the Skibidi toilet, "Well done, lil bro."
Well done, lil bro.
Mind you, this is one of the toilets that was hypnotized. But after thanking him, he decides to kill him. This moment is most likely a reference to episode 54, where the agent stroked his head first, but then flushed it. The TV man continues to open doors and stumbles into a room with living people. Unfortunately, it turns out they are all infected with the Skibidi virus. As you may recall, Male 11 from episode 73 is similarly infected among the people Camerawoman found. This was confirmed by Dafouk himself. Given this episode, it's clear that he can no longer be saved, as the purple TV man orders the agents to burn them. So hopefully at least the remaining uninfected people will remain healthy. Otherwise, they can't be brought back to normal either. As for the people themselves, let's try to figure out who they are. For example, the rightmost person with the red tie is the scientist from the secret agent poster. There is also a scientist in the center, and he is also from that poster. Everyone else is just random people or other lab employees who have been held hostage by Skibidi toilets. Interestingly, their clothes are in normal condition, so it becomes clear that they were infected recently. It turns out that they got infected because of the music from the tape recorder, meaning that Skibidi toilets don't even need to be present to be infected. This would explain why people contracted the virus so quickly and en masse. I have a theory that this tape recorder turned on relatively recently after the Skibidi toilets realized that the lab was not under their control, so they decided to remotely turn on the music so the prisoners couldn't be rescued. They all end up being burned, and the TV man goes on and sees a container where they load the surviving agents, including Simp Cameraman, into. There's a funny moment with him here. We see him reaching for TV Woman, but the door closes, and he, as in episode 54, is once again not graced with her attention. Incidentally, based on his trembling hands, he's been a prisoner for a long time and is very exhausted, and so much so that he has her picture falling down. It turns out he was watching and remembering TV Woman the whole time, which helped keep him from going crazy in prison. This proves once again that it's not just a casual love affair, but something more. As with Dave and Kathy, I think Simp and TV Woman were also in some sort of relationship when they were human. But something went wrong, and now TV Woman is avoiding him. In tomorrow's video, I'll go into more detail about what kind of relationship I'm referring to and why they have that kind of relationship in their lives. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you don't miss the new video. In the end, just like in episode 66, the big TV man teleports all the surviving agents. Most likely, he teleports them to a hospital where they will be treated by engineers. After all, we already know that agent hospitals exist. For example, we saw one at the end of episode 70. After that, we turn around and see the blueprint for the Toilet Titan. And as we get closer to the table, we see another photo, but this time not as a blueprint, but a concept of what it will look like in reality. By the way, there are pencils, a drill, and a clock on the table besides this picture. This is an obvious reference to the most popular Skibidi Toilet multiverse from Dom's studio. I mean, they are the ones who came up with these three races. It's funny how he just throws them out there as if to demean them. Back in the Boom interview, when asked how he felt about their universe, he replied, "Goofy, ah." So, we're waiting for Dom Studio's response in the series. I think they'll do these kinds of references and gimmicks too. As I think it's done more as a joke, and for the audience, there's no serious battle between them, and there won't be, and that's good. As for this picture with G-Man, First of all, he has a helmet on his head like ASTRO toilets. Secondly, he looks really huge, because that's just the top part of him, but imagine what he would be like in full height. And third, he has red eyes. I noticed that because of this, some viewers have a theory that this picture is from the future. And maybe it's not just a G-Titan, but a G-Titan who was infected by the ASTRO toilets and implemented their technology. However, since there have never been any examples of time jumps being used in the series yet, this theory is still unlikely. Also, G-Man does not have one eye, and this picture has one. So it is definitely a concept. Perhaps G-Man will have his eyes replaced, as he has already lost one, which would explain why they are a different color here in the photo. The most interesting thing about all of this, as usual, is the core. And it again looks very similar to the core of TV Man Titan. Purple TV Man suddenly distracts himself to turn to the agents and tells them to mind your own business.
Mind your own business.
Meaning that this is such important and sensitive information that it doesn't need to be shown unnecessarily to cameramen who are filming everything all the time. Ironically, it looks like TV Man himself forgot that everything is being filmed and didn't turn off the camera before teleporting to the super-secret TV Men base. TV Man scientist turns only his head to him at first, but then his whole body. He gets the picture and starts to get angry. However, he is angry not because he saw G-Titan, but because he noticed the camera on TV Man's head turned on. So he orders it to be turned off. Before proceeding further, let's consider this base. First, you can see right away that they are surveying ASTRO Toilet's claw to steal their technology or to improve and implement the claw to a new Titan. Yes, you heard right. We are talking about a Titan from all the races of the Alliance. Remember at the beginning when I said that the Alliance is experimenting with using different technologies in a single agent? Well, after TV Man Scientist got information about G-Titan, he will realize that without global changes in the army of ASTRO Toilets will not win, and they will need one Super Titan. I'll tell you more about it in the next video, and I'll even tell you more. I'll show you how such a Titan can look like. In potential, my team and I decided to prepare a concept of such a fusion. So it will be legendary, don't miss it. By the way, note that only TV men are in the lab, and this is done for privacy reasons, not just because it's the base of the TV men. However, while it's understandable why there aren't any cameramen, speakermen are a bit of a different story. Basically, any agent who can't teleport shouldn't be here. Or if they do, like in episode 66, it's only with the help of another TV man's teleport. Because otherwise, if they come themselves in the traditional way, they will reveal the location of the base. And in conditions where ASTRO Toilets kill everyone and take over territories, privacy is paramount. Otherwise, the war will end very quickly, and the Alliance will lose the war. After that, we see the tablet of Agent 1247. Let me remind you that this is that agent from episode 56. This means that in that episode he survived, and by the way, the fact that he survived then, I even said in the analysis of the distant 56 episode, it turns out my theory was confirmed. Then we hear TV Man say, "I found them and connecting."
I found them connecting.
And then it becomes clear that he joined the camera of the agent who at that moment was near G-Man's squad. We've already seen this scene in the teaser, in shorts form before episode 74 even aired, but let's go quickly through the most important part. First, Skibidi DJ has increased in size again and is being finished by Skibidi builders. Secondly, Michael Jackson and other familiar G-Man friends are also here. Skibidi hybrids decide to do a parody of the handshake between Cameraman Titan and Speakerman Titan. And this is where G-Man himself arrives. However, unlike the shorts, you can spot the Skibidi Toilet on his shoulder. This is most likely the replacement for Skibidi Scientist and the main scientist at the moment, who helps to realize the G-Titan project. By the way, we've seen this character before in episode 68. Remember when the Plunger Squad barely made it into the elevator and Skibidi Toilet with glasses burst in on them? Well, that's exactly the character. Eventually, we are spotted by Skibidi SWAT and we start running. However, another Skibidi hybrid stops us, and POV Cameraman unfortunately dies. By the way, when I first saw this, I was very scared, so Dafuk Boom's jump scare was a success. TV Man, after seeing this, says, "They are weakened," and adds that it is perfect time for attack.
Perfect time. They're weakened.
Cameraman Titan and Speakerman Titan gesture that they are ready to attack, but TV Man refuses them as they are badly injured and advises them to go home. Out of sadness, Speakerman takes off his hat, and we see that he turns out to be bald. After watching his friends dance, he decides to support that too and starts flexing his style. TV Man says, "This war ends today,"
Today, this war ends.
and starts to teleport away. But suddenly, TV Man Scientist appears and yells at TV Man Titan not to kill G-Man, but to bring him back alive to the base. TV Man, in his own manner, asks, "Are you insane?" The scientist's response surprised me. He seems to be the most tactful and intelligent in this whole situation. He said, "We need to understand the full picture before it's too late."
Before it's too late, we need to understand the full picture.
By too late, he meant just the ASTRO toilets, as he and his team have been analyzing ASTRO Toilet Claw and probably have an idea of how strong this race is. After seeing the G-Titan technology, it came to him that maybe this is the key to victory and it will help break a stronger common enemy together. So the suggestion to bring G-Man back to the base alive is a very cool solution. Even if agreeing on a temporary truce doesn't work out, they can learn a few secrets from him. Because in any case, he's definitely more familiar with the ASTRO Toilet race and will be able to help develop a plan to destroy them. Because the main disadvantage of the Alliance is their randomness and usual brute force. Very rarely they use tactics and a cunning plan to win. But in this situation, it is almost impossible to defeat ASTRO Toilets without it. You saw for yourself how many of them there are and how strong they are. Even TV Man Titan realized he would lose if he didn't escape in time. And there's nothing to say about the smaller agents. Right on the word that it might be too late, suddenly our camera zooms in on the agents, who throw away the clipboard out of shock. They've seen an invasion of ASTRO Toilets. Our tablet also connects to the camera of the agent who is in trouble, and we see a very sad picture. There's fire everywhere. Everything is up in smoke. There are flying ASTRO fighters everywhere, and a huge ASTRO destroyer. This seems to be their new development, designed to destroy everything in its path. Not a couple seconds later, we see ASTRO Toilet UFO. Unfortunately, the Cameraman Titan couldn't hit it as it's too fast, and even TV Man Titan couldn't do anything with hypnosis as he has automatic fancy glasses. He ends up grinning and flying a little further away from them. Afterward, we realize why he had that reaction. Turns out they weren't just scaring the Titans all this time, and they're really quite serious. Instantly, a whole squadron of huge ASTRO toilets and smaller but also strong ASTRO fighters arrive. And at the very end, with a spectacular appearance, we see Skibidi Devil with dark red eyes. Considering he appeared literally gathered from light, he's probably the fastest ASTRO toilet ever. So fast that it already works almost like a teleporter. What's also unaccustomed is that this time ASTRO Toilets didn't say a word, but immediately launched an attack. And it's very creepy looking, unlike Skibidi Toilets. Whereas those at least sang and looked more like psychos, here they're cold-blooded killers who are just following orders. They have no emotions, no characters, absolutely nothing. That's what Secret Agent was trying to tell Plunger, and that's what G-Man was trying to warn the Titans about in episode 73. When the Cameraman starts working again, we see poor Cameraman Titan completely on fire and badly disfigured. But even with that in mind, he gives us a thumbs up. This is very sad to watch, as this is not just any Titan. This is the Titan who has made millions of fans fall in love with him and has done more for the Alliance than any other character. After episode 50, he was the one who gave hope to the Alliance and completely changed the course of the war. Thanks to him, the Alliance had time to improve TV Man Titan. Thanks to him, we got Speaker Man Titan back, whom he saved from Skibidi Parasite. It was this Titan that helped me fall in love with the series. When I started doing the breakdowns, episode 50 and his return drew me into the series even more. And I'm sure every viewer has their own story of getting to know this wonderful character. So for everyone, this scene was the saddest scene in recent times, or even the entire run of the series. We'll come back to it again, but for now let's talk about TV Man Titan's act. He said, "I can't lose you both," and teleported Speaker Man Titan against his will. It reminded me of Dark Speakerman's act when he saved half the squad by sacrificing 2 cameramen. As you may recall, Plunger even beat him up and yelled at him afterward. I think Speakerman will also dislike TV Man for that and remind him of what happened. But that's a normal reaction, because Cameraman Titan is his friend who he fought with for so long, and who helped him get back to his mind. So, I didn't think I'd say this, but I will praise TV Man Titan. He's often dumb and sometimes doesn't do things right. However, this time, I think in this situation, if it wasn't for the violent teleport, Speakerman Titan and possibly TV Man Titan himself would have died as well. Since, let's be honest, such a huge number of ASTRO toilets is almost a 100% ticket to the other side of the world. In the very last few seconds, as we can see, the agents try to run up to TV Man's teleporter to teleport away with him. But unfortunately, POV Cameraman 1247 doesn't survive this time and dies. The last thing he sees is a UFO ASTRO toilet and an ASTRO destroyer that leaves no chance for anyone to survive. As for the main question today, whether Cameraman Titan is dead, I'll put it briefly. We don't have 100% proof that he died, because Boom didn't show his body and everything was left behind. But on the other hand, we also don't have 100% proof that he survived. So here I can only speculate. First of all, at the moment the shell hits, if you pay attention, he has a particle color change from blue to green near his right shoulder for a while. As you may recall, the moment Plunger died, there were green particles as well. However, in the case of Cameraman Titan, I'm not sure if it's secret agents doing, as it might just be the impact that caused the glow to change. Secondly, a scenario where ASTRO toilets take him prisoner to blackmail TV Man Titan with it is not out of the question, since TV Man Titan can run away from them endlessly due to his teleportation. And if Cameraman is captured, you can lure TV Man into a trap and kill him that way. That's still bad, of course, but in any case, in such a scenario, Cameraman Titan at least won't die immediately, and there will be a chance to save him if a normal plan is thought out. Anyway, it's a shame it happened like that. Everyone is in huge trouble right now, and if the Alliance doesn't do anything about it, there will be more and more deaths with each episode. So, in my next video, that's exactly what we're going to talk about and speculate on what the future holds and what Dafook has in store for us next. So don't forget to subscribe and put like. Bye.